Red Wing is a city in Goodhue County, Minnesota, United States, on the Mississippi River. The population was 16,459 at the 2010 census. It is the county seat of Goodhue County. Red Wing is home of Red Wing shoes, Riedell ice and roller skates, and Red Wing Stoneware. The Cannon Valley Trail has its eastern terminus in Red Wing. Treasure Island Resort and Amp Casino is on the nearby Prairie Island Indian Reservation. The National Trust for Historic Preservation placed Red Wing on its 2008 Distinctive Destinations list, which adds 12 communities annually nationwide. Red Wing was added for its impressive architecture and enviable natural environment. Red Wing is connected to Wisconsin by Red Wing Bridge. It carries U.S. Route 63 over the Mississippi River and its backwaters. This city was named after the Sioux chief, Red Wing. He was one of a succession of Mdewakanton Dakota chiefs whose name, Red Wing, came from the use of a dyed swan's wing as the symbol of rank. His Sioux name was Hapeaduta. He was an ally of British soldiers during the War of 1812, but after a vision where he saw the Americans driving out the British, he took a stance of neutrality. He later was known as L'Al Rouge by the French Canadians, and later still took the name Shaker, or the man who paints himself red, after passing the name Red Wing on to a successor. During his lifetime, there were few pioneers, and Red Wing was known as a firm friend of the United States, keeping peace with the settlers and trading for goods that were valued by his tribe. History. In the early 1850s, settlers from Mississippi River steamboats came to Red Wing to farm the lush fields in Goodhue County. They grew wheat, the annual crop of which could pay the cost of the land. Before the railroads crisscrossed the territory of Goodhue County, it produced more wheat than any other county in the country. In 1873, Red Wing led the country in the amount of wheat sold by farmers. The warehouses in the port of Red Wing could store and export more than 1 million bushels of wheat. Once the railroads connected southern Minnesota with Minneapolis and St. Anthony, where the largest flour mills were built. The port at Red Wing lost prominence. In the last half of the 20th century, the United States Army Corps of Engineers built locks and dams and deepened the channel in the river. These revitalized river traffic for shipping grain and coal. The Aurora Ski Club in Red Wing, which was founded on February 8, 1887, was one of the first ski clubs to be formed in North America. Aurora Club members introduced in the 1880s what became known as Red Wing style ski techniques, which was patterned after the telemark skiing form. The term Red Wing style continued in use in America well into the 20th century. The first North American ski jumping record was set by Norwegian immigrant Mikael Hemestvedt. His 37-foot flight in 1887 was established at the Aurora Ski Club's McSorley Hill. The first settlers in town built small mills, factories, and workshops, similar to ones they were familiar with in New England from where many had come. Immigrants from Germany, Ireland, Norway, and Sweden were also skilled craftsmen. Some early industries were tanning and shoemaking, while other businessmen manufactured farm equipment, bricks, barrels, birds, furniture, pottery, buttons. Consumables included beer and lumber. Service industries including stone cutting, hospitality, and retailing. The St. James Hotel remains a working token of the earlier time. Red Wing was once home to Hamline University, founded in 1854 as the first institution of higher education in the state of Minnesota. It closed in 1869 because of low enrollment due to the American Civil War. It was chartered in St. Paul in 1871 and reopened there in 1880. Red Wing Seminary was a Lutheran church seminary. Red Wing Seminary was the educational center for the Hauge's Norwegian Evangelical Lutheran Synod in America, commonly known as the Hague Synod. The Hague Synod had opened the seminary in 1879. Red Wing Seminary was in operation until 1917. Red Wing also was the home of Gustavus Adolphus College, a private liberal arts college of the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. The college was founded in Red Wing in 1862 by Eric Norelius but moved to East Union in 1863 before settling in St. Peter in 1876. The Red Wing pottery and stoneware industry began in 1861 when county potter John Paul discovered the large, glacially deposited clay pits beds on the northwest of the city, close to Hay Creek. The first commercial pottery company, Red Wing Stoneware, was founded in 1877. It used clay from the area of the Hay Creek headwaters, close to Goodhue, near a hamlet named Clay Bank. A railroad branch line was built to carry clay to Red Wing. The factory buildings remain, but only traces of the railroad, abandoned in 1937, are left. Library. Red Wing Public Library is a member of Southeastern Libraries Cooperating, the Shea, Minnesota Library Region. Neighborhoods. The city of Red Wing has several neighborhoods or other places annexed by the city. These include Burnside Township, East Red Wing, Eggleston. Geography. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 41.19 square miles, of which 34.60 square miles is land and 6.59 square miles is water. The city is at the northern edge of the driftless area of karst topography. Minnesota Correctional Facility. Red Wing is the home of the Minnesota Correctional Facility, Red Wing. Built in 1889 as the Minnesota State Training School, the original Romanesque building was designed by Warren B. Dunnell, the architect of a number of historical public buildings in Minnesota. The institution served as the subject of Walls of Red Wing, a folk song by American singer-songwriter Bob Dylan. Demographics. 2010 census. As of the census of 2010, there were 16,459 people, 7,017 households, and 4,328 families residing in the city. The population density was 475.7 inhabitants per square mile. There were 7,539 housing units at an average density of 217.9 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 91.5% white, 1.9% African American, 2.2% Native American, 0.8% Asian, 1.2% from other races, and 2.3% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 3.7% of the population. There were 7,017 households, of which 28.0% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 46.6% were married couples living together. 10.6% had a female householder with no husband present. 4.5% had a male householder with no wife present, and 38.3% were non-families. 32.2% of all households were made up of individuals, and 14.6% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.27 and the average family size was 2.84. The median age in the city was 41.8 years. 22.5% of residents were under the age of 18, 7.8% were between the ages of 18 and 24, 23.9% were from 25 to 44, 27.7% were from 45 to 64, and 18.2% were 65 years of age or older. The gender makeup of the city was 48.6% male and 51.4% female. 2000 census. At the census of 2000, there were 16,116 people, 6,562 households, and 4,166 families in the city. The population density was 455.3 per square mile. There were 6,867 housing units at an average density of 194.0 per square mile. The racial makeup was 94.33% white, 1.32% African American, 2.22% Native American, 0.74% Asian, 0.05% Pacific Islander, 0.53% from other races, and 0.82% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 1.27% of the population. There were 6,562 households, of which 30.4% had children under 18 with them. 51.2% were married couples living together. 8.9% had a female householder with no husband present, and 36.5% were non-families. 30.7% of all households were of individuals, and 13.3% had someone living alone 65 or older. The average household size was 2.35 and the average family 2.94. In the city, the population was 24.6% under 18, 8.2% from 18 to 24, 27.5% from 25 to 44, 23.2% from 45 to 64, and 16.5% 65 or older. The median was 39. For every 100 females there were 93.5 males. For every 100 females 18 and over, there were 90.6 males. The median income for a household was $43,674, and the median for a family was $54,641. Males had a median of $36,576 versus $25,477 for females. The per capita income was $21,678. About 3.9% of families and 6.8% of the population were below the poverty line, including 7.9% of those under age 18 and 8.0% of those 65 or over. Transportation. U.S. Route 61 and 63 and Minnesota State Highways 19 and 58 are the main intercity highways. Minnesota State Highway 292 also is in the city. Red Wing Regional Airport is located across the Mississippi River in Pierce County, Wisconsin, near Wisconsin Highway 35. Red Wing's Amtrak station is served by Amtrak's Empire Builder daily in each direction between Chicago to the east, and Seattle and Portland on the west. Government. Mayor Daniel Bender term, June 2013 to January 2017. City Council. The City Council members as of January 2015 are Jason Sebian term, January 2013 to January 2017. Lisa Pritchard Bailey Council President, term, January 2013 to January 2017. Dean Hove, Council President term, January 2015 to January 2019. Dan Munson term, January 2015 to January 2019. Peggy Riedell term, January 2015 to January 2019. Ralph Rauticus Council Vice President, term, January 2013 to January 2017. Dustin Schulenberg term, January 2015 to January 2019. Notable people: Eugenie Anderson, U.S. Ambassador to Denmark and Bulgaria, first woman appointed U.S. Ambassador. Ryan Bolt, baseball player. Joseph Francis Bush, Roman Catholic bishop. William C. Christensen, Minnesota Supreme Court Justice. William J. Colville, Civil War hero and Minnesota Attorney General. Francis Densmore, ethnographer and ethnomusicologist. Jonel Dierstad, a former Minnesota lieutenant governor. Patrick Pfluger, actor. The Princess Diaries, The 4400. Mikael Hemestvia, skiing champion. Torjus Hemestvia, skiing champion. Stanley E. Hubbard, founder of Hubbard Broadcasting. Philander P. Humphrey, physician, politician. Ned Locke, television personality, Bozo's Circus. Martin McGuinness, politician, Union Army veteran. Greg Norton, bassist for Husker Du and restaurateur. Henrietta Barclay Peist, artist, designer, teacher, and author. Robert Ezra Park, urban sociologist. John Pohl, player in NHL, Toronto Maple Leafs. Theodore Swanson, farmer, Wisconsin legislator. James Touchy Peters, symphonic conductor, composer and jazz singer. August Wienas, founding president of Augsburg College. Jacqueline West, poet and author of the Books of Elsewhere. Phyllis Yes, feminist artist. Free Energy. Sister cities. Red Wing has 3 sister cities, as designated by Sister Cities International, Osaka, Japan. Kuzhou, China. Kongsberg, Norway.